Greetings, friends and fellow aliens, and welcome to my channel. My name is David. I am an author. I'm an INFJ. I'm getting older as an INFJ. And I come to you today with some thoughts on being authentic and authenticity as an INFJ. I was recently in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I was there for a convention. It was a literary convention, an author's convention called LibertyCon, and traveled out there through multiple airports and just like some crazy travel days to try and get there on time. I visited my brother who was in Tennessee, and I was filming a little bit, vlogging on the way. And a couple things were just popping into my head. I had this nagging voice saying, you need to have a discussion about authenticity and being authentic and how to be comfortable being you around other people as an INFJ, because frankly, it is something that we tend to struggle with. And there are reasons for that. I'll get into it in just a moment. But it's a conversation that I think we need to have and a lot of people need to hear, and something we don't necessarily talk about. We struggle about like our identity as INFJs, but we don't really have a little bit of a roadmap and just a little bit of reinforcement and validation that what you're doing is okay and it's okay to be you. And that is the purpose of this video. Before I get into that, this video is sponsored by my book, because this is my channel and this is how I roll. 300 and some odd pages, INFJ main character. It is called The Caretaker. It's on Amazon. It's got nearly 150 reviews. It is 5 stars. It is a great book, and I think as an INFJ or just as a reader in general that likes supernatural fiction, you'll love the book. So please consider picking it up. Lots of other ways to help out the channel if you wish. There's links in the description for all sorts of stuff. So there's that. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to the topic at hand. First, I'm just going to have a little sip of coffee because, yes, indeed, life can be hard. Yeah, that's good. I needed that. So I'm coming to you with three things that popped into my head in terms of being an authentic person and authenticity as an INFJ. First, I want to cover why this might be a little bit of a struggle for your average INFJ out there. Now, as an older one, I'm 47. I've been 47 years on this earth. As an older INFJ, things tend to become clearer. You tend to, your levels kind of level out in a way. And same thing with the functions that you typically access as an INFJ. When you get a little bit older, you have more experiences, that logical thinking tends to come up a little bit. You start to have a better understanding of the world around you, the interactions, and frankly, the nature, and sometimes really awful nature, of people in general. The other thing to remember is that you're an INFJ. So intuition is your primary way of interacting with the world, but that extroverted feeling is high up there. And so the thoughts, emotions, and feelings and mood of other people as an empathic type is something that weighs on you. And it is difficult to be comfortable and certain being an authentic person when you are so moved by the reactions of other people and by other people's moods. That can make it really, really hard to nail down, like, hey, what is my actual identity? Like, who am I? What the hell am I doing, even? It's an important question to answer. With that being said, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of those logical steps and some pretty plain as day facts about the world at large that come from my experiences in it. Now listen, I've made a ton of mistakes in my life, and often I've looked back and I've been like, man, I've been around here for 40 plus years and I've wasted them. And I've wasted them making mistakes, chasing things I shouldn't have chased, following on ideas that weren't even my ideas, that were what somebody else wanted and not what I wanted, and making my personality mold to those around me and what their expectations are of me. And I have no doubt that many of you are going through the same thing. Now, this is a toxic way of thinking. And the reason it's toxic is because it is against your true nature. When you start to imprint what other people are thinking, feeling, and wanting, and you adopt those as your thoughts and your feelings and your wants, it is going against, it's swimming upstream. It's going against what your true nature is. And so, okay, what's my true nature? Like, that is a huge question. Like, what makes you happy and what do you actually want to do? And so I want to talk to you just a little bit about those principles as we step through these 3 things that can help you at least get a handle on what it means to be an authentic INFJ and an authentic person out in the world. So when I say authentic, I don't mean a real INFJ. You know, I don't play that game. I think that type police and all of that nonsense is complete and total bullshit. And that's, it's a fallacy. It's a logical fallacy. It's called the true Scotsman fallacy. Well, a real INFJ wouldn't do this, this, or this. And a true INFJ wouldn't do this, this, or this. If anybody ever says that to you, they're full of crap. Put them in the trash can, in the dumpster that's on fire, where they belong, because none of those ideas matter and they shouldn't affect you in any way. You know what you are. And be true to who you are. Don't take that impression from somebody else and internalize it. It's something that I really struggled with, but I'm finally at a point where I'm just like, you know what? I know what I am. I know what I got. You guys can just piss off. That's really the right way to handle them because, again, they're making an illogical argument as to you. These people don't know you. If they don't know you, they can't really speak to who you are, can they? No. So, goodbye. So I'm speaking about authenticity in terms of being true to yourself, being an authentic, honest, and open human being. That means having a little bit of vulnerability that's able to be shown in order to resonate with other people. And that means understanding what your principles are, understanding that no is no, wrong is wrong in your head. And if somebody tries to convince you otherwise, listen to the argument, but be certain about where you stand on it. So having an open mind is obviously key. I have a very open mind. I love having conversations with people that disagree with me. But that's the point. You are disagreeing with me because I know, true to myself, what I am, what I want, and how I see the world and my reality. And if you start to tell me that my reality is not actual reality, we're going to have a problem because you don't know that. And besides, this could just all be a simulation anyway, right? So the first thing on my list is to do what you want. And I'm going to tell you this in terms of the trip I just took. So I just went to Tennessee and it was Chattanooga and it was a lot of flight time and a lot of travel. Now I'm fortunate, I'm in Connecticut and about 20 minutes from the airport. So the ride there was super quick and super easy and great. I get into the airport and I'm like, you know, I want to record some little YouTube shorts. And I posted them the last few days. You can go on there and see them on the shorts. And so I had to get the phone out and hit record. And I'm walking through the airport. Now, the airport there, the Hartford airport, it's BDL, is really small. It's like a few gates. I don't know, maybe 10, 20 gates. It's not that big at all. So there weren't a lot of people around. But I have such a hard time recording in public because of that little nagging voice. Like, what will people think of me? What are they going to be looking at me? They're going to be hearing me saying stupid crap because I always say stupid crap. And I was like, you know, I had this thought and I'm like, well, but this is what I want to do. And also, do any of these people really matter? I don't know any of these people. And I understood that I'm going to be immediately forgotten. These are people traveling to visit family. They're hugging family members. They're traveling for work. They have things on their mind, things to do. They're busy. They want to catch their flight just like me. So they're not going to remember that there was some guy walking around with a camera recording himself. Of course not. So it doesn't matter. So the first piece of advice I have is do what you want, but make sure it's in line with your principles. And one of my principles, and one of the things that I love and love about this channel and about connecting with people, is that I get to help you. A lot of the words that I speak, a lot of the videos that I've recorded, I've had people reach out to me and saying, oh my God, like I feel seen and I feel understood for the first time. And I don't feel so alone anymore. I get that comment so much, like all over my videos. And it's because I'm being vulnerable and I'm showing myself and I'm being authentically me. Like, this is what you get. Sorry. But I think remaining in line with your principles, and my goal is, I want to help people. I want to help INFJs understand themselves better. I want to help writers and authors just be more excited about doing what they want to do. And if you're stuck, I want to be that guy that helps you. And I want to be able to tell you my story and hopefully get you unstuck somehow. And get you feeling better about your art and the things that you're creating and what you're doing, because the world needs you right now. So thinking about that and weighing that against some people walking past me in an airport that are just going to forget me anyway, it was a really easy decision. And in that moment, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to vlog this trip, and I'm going to talk to the camera, and I'm going to be walking around, and literally nobody's going to care. And you know what? They didn't. Nobody looked at me. It was great. The second thing on my list to just sort of put this whole authenticity thing into focus is to understand what you can and cannot control as a human being. This one's tough. If my principles are that I want to be a helpful, good person, and I want to help fellow INFJs understand themselves, and I want to help authors and writers to do their craft in a way that makes them happy and productive, and by doing that, I have to show myself to everybody, well then, showing myself to you is what is within my control. Everything else, people's opinions of me, what people think, whether they click on the video to watch it or not, is completely and totally outside of my control. You know, again, I've had that toxic thought that I've wasted a large portion of my life making mistakes, buying stupid crap I shouldn't have purchased, getting into some debt because of it, mistakes in relationships, and all sorts of reasons. I can't change the years that have passed. I can't change anything that's happened. I can't change my decisions. I can't go back and do any of it differently. But I've come to realize that the only thing that I can really have a handle on is right now. And right now I'm recording a video to help you. I am living in line with my principles. This is the moment that I have control over. Set up a camera, set up the microphone, I test everything. It seems good. I get some thoughts down and I get them out to reach out to you to hopefully impart some of my experience and my knowledge to your brain. Spread it like a virus, but like a good one. A pandemic of positivity. Ooh, that's kind of catchy. I like it. Pandemic's kind of like not a great... Yeah, I guess you can't really do that, can you? If it's like positive. Like, we're going to have a positivity plague. Like, plague sort of has a negative connotation. All right, forget that whole thing. I've been reading a bunch lately on Stoicism, and it's something that really resonates for me. Epictetus is like, he's like my homeboy now. And in Stoicism, that's pretty much like the guiding principle, is understanding what is within your control and what is outside of your control. Epictetus was a guy that came to this realization essentially as a slave, being tortured, beaten, and everything else, but just started to be like, you know what? This is my life. Can't control that. So I'm just going to focus on what I can control. And that's going to allow me to be happy, because the other stuff, there's nothing I can do about it. It puts those little negative moments in your life into perspective, and it helps them to not snowball too much. Now look, I get affected by it just like anybody else does, especially when something stupid happens, like when I ran into a curb and then I needed an entirely new set of tires and an alignment done on my car, and that was $750 that I did not expect to spend. Bad couple days having to do that, especially when gas is like $400 a gallon, right? Because money's tight for everybody, and this is what it is. But I cannot control the gas prices. I can't, well, okay, I could have controlled my car. It was just a mistake that I made. But once it happened, it happened. Can't take it back. I can't tell the curb to, like, put the chunk of the tire back onto my car that it subsequently ripped off when I hit it. So I had to do what I could do. And the only thing I could control, and this happened right before I left for Tennessee, And the only thing I could control was going ahead and waiting until I got back. And while I was there, focusing on the task at hand. I went to this convention as an author, and I went to network, meet other authors, and learn as much as I could. And I had an amazing weekend because I was able to, for just a couple days, let go of all the bullshit that's weighing me down typically on my day-to-day. Because I didn't need to worry about any of it. Everything was covered. Everything was set. There was nothing I could change being in a state 1,000 miles away. I couldn't fix my car from there. I couldn't do any of those things. So I focused on what I could control. And that was walking around, taking some vlogging footage and some videos. And that was being fully immersed and engaged in conversations with other authors and in sitting in on panels where they're discussing all of these amazing concepts and things about writing and different genres and everything else, to just try and absorb that information and learning it and learning as much as I can. So I made that effort to be like, you know what? My day-to-day nonsense has to go away. Because if I'm going to be true to my principles, I need to focus. I need to be in the present moment. And I need to take advantage of every single one of those present moments. And so that's what I did. And as a result, I had an amazing, honestly transformative kind of experience there. It breathed so much life into me as a creator and as an artist and as a wordsmith that I'm just like, I'm excited to write. I was writing on the plane at like 11 o'clock at night, flying over, New York City, just putting some more words down because I was able to let go of everything and be in that moment. And that's the kind of thing that's really hard for us as INFJs, because we internalize so much. And what is somebody else going to think? And are we letting somebody down? And INFJ's favorite words are almost always, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry for the way I am. I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for this. I even joke about it all the time when I say, if you know an INFJ or if you're in a relationship with an INFJ, congratulations and I'm sorry. Because that's just kind of the mood. And I say it in a self-deprecating way because it's kind of fun and funny. But we really are, as INFJs, gifts. And we're gifts to the people around us. But we can only be that gift if we're being authentically ourselves. And that's the trick. And you have to take care of that first before you can be that guiding light for others. And you can be that guiding light for others. You can. The third realization that I had, and something that really hammers on being an authentic person, is to understand that nobody in this world owes you a damn thing. It's true. You're not owed a thing because of what class you were born in, or what color you are, or what your orientation is. Nobody owes you a damn thing. This life is yours, period. It's not anybody else's. And you can't expect somebody else to have to alter their life because you feel slighted or owed. Remember Epictetus. The dude was a slave. He was beaten. He was tortured. And he still had that realization of, you know what? Nobody owes me anything. I can't control any of that. Just because I'm in this situation doesn't mean that everybody has to bend over backwards to make sure I'm not. Certainly you appreciate hands up and you appreciate an outstretched hand and somebody helping. Gratitude is different than feeling like you have a sense of entitlement or you're owed anything, because you're not. If I help somebody, it's because I truly, deeply want to help somebody. And that is authentic to who I am. And that's me being me. If you want to help somebody, it's the same thing. You're doing it because it fulfills you in some way. There's no obligation. The only obligation is to yourself, saying, you know what, it will help me to help others. And it gives me a sense of fulfillment and it makes me happy. Then go for it. But nobody is owed your help. Nobody is owed your sacrifices. You need to do the things that you want to do to be happy. You need to be yourself. You need to be authentically you, and understand your principles and how that comes into play in everything you do in life. So, while this is a difficult conversation, and it's difficult to wrap your head around being authentic and not worrying about other people, let me tell you, I was vlogging from the Atlanta, I think it's called the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport in Atlanta, which, according to the announcements on the speaker, is quite possibly the busiest airport in the world. And I'm talking like tens of thousands of people I'm walking by. The airport itself is 200 acres. It's like 200 gates. There's 2 subway cars that go back and forth, for crying out loud, to take you, and the subway car is traveling for 5-10 minutes to get to the other end of the airport. Surrounded by throngs of people, all going to their destinations and everything else. And I'm just sitting there walking and recording because I'm having that realization. The only thing I can control in that moment is me. And what I wanted was to connect with you and to just film something that says, hey, here's where I am and here are some thoughts. And this is what it's like traveling around, I guess, as an INFJ. And none of these people owe me anything, and I don't owe any of them anything. So they have a problem with me recording there. That's their problem. If they stare at me, that's them being nosy and staring. That is outside of my control. I can't control their personality. All I could do was what I wanted to do to accomplish what I am trying to accomplish, which is helping others, focusing on the present moment, becoming a better person, and hopefully saying some things that resonate for you. I hope this conversation's helped you in some way. Authenticity is that sort of thing where it's like it's difficult, but it's easy at the same time. You just have to understand that not everybody's going to accept you. Nobody owes you anything. They don't owe you the benefit of the doubt. They really just don't owe you anything. And so be you. Some people will like it. Some people won't. When I was at the convention, I was sitting down having an amazing conversation with a fellow author. And this guy's pretty accomplished. He's been self-published for years, has written many, many, many books, really good at what he does, great at marketing and all those different kinds of things in terms of getting his work out there. And just like an amazing mind. And he and I just had some really, really good talks. And there were other people at this convention, fellow authors, where I'm like, wow, like if you told me I had to have a conversation with that person, I would fight it at all costs, like trying to put a cat in a bathtub, like screeching against the walls, leaving like those lines from my nails in there, or like something out of a horror movie or whatever, because I know that that's not a person I would click with or choose to talk to. That was just very off-putting. This is what it's like. People are like that, and you can't make all of them happy, and you can't expect to be liked by everybody. So be you, and be authentic. And it's kind of like a law of attraction thing. If you do that, the people that understand and appreciate you and what you say, they will come to you. They will resonate with you, and that is your community. And I hope this community on this channel is yours, as it is mine. And this is our little alien world out here. So thank you for listening to this one. And again, please, if you have the means or the capability to support this page, links are in the description. I encourage you to check out the book. Book 2 is in process. I've been putting down words, and the story is taking just an amazing turn. Again, we've got an INFJ main character. It is in a really awesome supernatural world that is highly psychological, and ultimately is a story about love and loss and death, because those are my experiences. So thank you again for watching this one, and you will be seeing me again very, very soon.